Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to be talking about BookBrush today, and specifically BookBrush's cover designer. I love using BookBrush. BookBrush is a graphic design software for authors that allows you to create all sorts of graphics to market your books. So they do all different types of ads or bookmarks or just marketing graphics, and they also have a cover designer, and it allows you to create your like a whole cover for your book on BookBrush. So it's very cool. This video is sponsored by BookBrush. I used BookBrush way before they reached out to me to sponsor me, and fangirled so hard when they reached out to me because I love it and it's fantastic. I don't personally use BookBrush for my covers. I work with a professional cover designer, but I do use it for a lot of my marketing images and different book graphics. One of the reasons I don't use BookBrush for my covers is that I just have no sense of design and I am a really terrible designer. I don't know how to make things look good, as you will be able to see in this video, but I'm just going to give you a basic overview of what BookBrush is and how it works so that you can apply all of your own design savviness and be able to design something that actually looks good. Before we get started, if you don't know who I am, my name is Claire Fraze, and I am an award-winning young adult author who makes videos on this channel sharing writing tips that helped me personally make my own writing better. I am the author of young adult supernatural thriller They Stay, as well as the other books in the series, the They Stay series, and I like making videos and writing books. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So I'm going to share my screen. Just please hold. I'm recording this all in one take just so I can use the screen sharing feature. There's no jump cuts or anything here. All right, so this is my BookBrush dashboard. It's pretty straightforward. There are a bunch of different things that you can do here, but before we get into that, I'm just going to share with you the pricing of everything, just to be totally transparent on that. So this is the BookBrush pricing. There is a free plan, but if you wanted to upgrade to get some more fancy tools and things, this is kind of what everything looks like. I currently have the platinum plan, but I don't pay this much for it. Thank you, BookBrush. I was on the plus plan before BookBrush reached out to me, and that really served all of my needs. Oh, actually, no, I upgraded to the gold plan so that I could use instant mockups because I found that that was a really helpful tool in being able to market my books. But the cover creator is included in all of these different plans. So if you wanted to use this for your covers, you totally could. And so now let's just go jump into the cover creator. So in order to create a cover, you click on the cover creator. It's pretty straightforward. And then it takes you to this design page. So on the left, you can choose whether you're creating an ebook, a print, or an audiobook. There are different sizes for different books, depending on where you publish, especially with print books. If you create a cover for a print book, you need to size the spine so that it fits the number of pages that your book has. So a really thick book isn't going to have the same spine height as like a really thin book. And so the actual size of your cover has to be adjusted. And there are all sorts of different ways that people calculate that. Like you can see here is the book Spirit Legacy by my friend E.E. Holmes, who I interviewed on the channel recently. But you see that the spine size is smaller on this book than the spine size of The Dead House by my other friend Don Kurtagich. And so you want to make sure that your sizing in your cover, because this is all one cover file, like a wrap for your paperback. So you have to make sure that the size of the spine is the right size. So that can be a little bit tricky. And I'm pretty sure that BookBrush does do this. Yeah, so you can put in your page count. You can put in whether you're doing a paperback or a hardcover. You can put in your trim size, which is the actual size of your book. All of my books are 5.5 by 8.5 inches. That's a standard size for YA. If you a standard size for adult books is 6 by 9 inches. but it depends what you prefer as a reader. And I think 5 by 8 is another size that I see a lot. But the smaller the book, you get like a lot of trade paperbacks that are smaller, and then hard like adult paperbacks or hardcovers can be bigger, and it can differ. So you have to choose what you want to do with that. And your paper type, this is something that I learned when I first started publishing, is that white paper doesn't have the same consistency, or it doesn't have the same size as cream paper. And so if you put in cream paper, it's going to affect your spine height too. So if you are publishing to Ingram Spark, they have all of the settings preset for that too in BookBrush. So it's really great. It makes things really easy. For the purposes of this video, I think we're going to do an ebook cover because it's just simple, but you can also do an audiobook cover, and they will give you the 2 standard sizes for audiobooks depending on where you're publishing your audiobook. So it's very handy. And if we're going to click on ebooks, they'll give you the standard size for Kindle, for Kobo, for Wattpad, for Kindle Vella, for Story Origin, and for Apple Books. So gives you lots of options. Since I publish my books primarily on Amazon, I'm going to click Kindle. So now this is the size that we get for the cover. Kindle ebooks are really easy. All you have to do is just upload a file, like one image like this, and then that will be the cover that goes everywhere when Kindle is promoting your book. And let's say that you have a blank page and you're kind of like me and you don't really know where to go or how to design anything. What you can do is you can click on templates, and they give you all of these pre-made templates for covers that can give you a place to start. Maybe you like them, but you're not in love with them, but it gives you a place to start, and then you can edit it and put in your author name or change the image. If you love them, that makes things really easy. There are some that are really cool. Like I really like this one. This is a really cool fantasy one. This is a really cool one. So these are a lot of great options. So for the purposes of this video, let's just choose one. So I'll click on this one because it's cool. And then it pops up right in the cover designer. So now whenever you want to edit anything, BookBrush makes it really easy. You can click on the author name, for example. If you double click on it, on the left, it'll allow you to edit it. So I will edit it and write my name. And then we title the book. Let's say, I don't know, what could be a title for this book? Let's say Grim Reaper, because he looks kind of scary. Okay, this is too big. The text is too big. So if we wanted to make this smaller, we just click on the size thing and we bring that down a little bit. You can also type the size number that you want, or you can use the arrows to adjust it. I think that looks better. So now you bring it up and down. Something that's super handy is if you want to make sure everything is centered, you go all the way on the right, you click on toggle guidelines, and it brings up a grid. If you click on it twice, then it'll bring this up, and then it'll give you all the lines to make sure that everything is centered. So I use that a lot. So if you liked that cover, then you could just use that cover and you don't have to do any more editing to it. But let's say that you liked this cover, but you wanted to change the font. You double click on the text that you wanted to change, and you can scroll through all of the fonts. These are 2 fonts that I uploaded because I use them a lot in my marketing materials. And this is the font that all my book covers are in. And this is the font I use on this channel and also on my website. But they have a lot of other font options that you can use. You can also update your own fonts if you want. This is really not the most appropriate font for this cover. Neither is that, but it's fun. Let's say that you really liked these fun fonts and you wanted something. Let's say that you loved that, thought it was super clear and really eye-catching, and that's the font you wanted, but the letters are overlapping, so you double click again and you can adjust the line height with this slider here. You can also adjust the letter spacing if you wanted your letters to be more spaced, but now, we're not centered. So we're going to double click on toggle guidelines again. And well, it says it's centered. So I wonder if that's maybe because it's not. Interesting. I don't know. We might have to do a little bit of playing around to figure out, or maybe it is centered and I'm just blind. It's very possible. I think I might just be blind. Does that look centered to you? It doesn't matter. Well, you can change the font on the title text too if we wanted to have the same. Oh, that's pretty bad. Same font, or we can change it. That's fine. We can change the color of the font too. So if you wanted to change the primary color, you can go here and pick any color that you wanted to and change it by dragging stuff around. Makes it really easy. You can also add a text shadow here. You can see the shadow is getting intense, and you can change the color of the shadow. If you wanted it to be a red shadow, you could do that. So that's kind of an overview of the text editing. Oh, if you wanted to make it all caps, I don't know if this is going to do it with the funky font, but you can click this button and that makes it all caps, or we'll turn it back to lowercase. Like, let's see if it works. Well, this is already actually all written in caps, but see how it turns from lower caps to all caps? It's a very handy trick. This underlines stuff. This makes stuff in italic. This changes the alignment of text. It's all pretty straightforward. It's really easy. So then let's say that we liked this cover. This was perfect. We're going to export it. This can be our cover. But let's say maybe that we wanted to design something from scratch. So I'm just going to delete all of this stuff and we're going to design something from scratch. So we have this blank page. How do we create a cover? We can go down to the background images on the left and see all of these stock images that BookBrush has for us to use. We can search for them. So let's say we want to do horror and search for that. So these are a bunch of the images that BookBrush will give us. They're pretty cool. A lot of them do invoke some pretty creepy vibes. Oh, that might be a little too creepy. Some of these might be too creepy. So we scroll through until we find something that we like. Maybe we like this image of the tree and the hands. It's pretty creepy. So we have that be fitted to our cover. We can increase the size using the sliding bar. We want to make sure everything is all the edges. I think there's some white on the edge down there, so I'll make it a little bigger. Cool. So that is our image. And then we want to add some, you can add some like effects and things too. If you want to have a blur to the image, you can add a blur. You can overlay stuff over it. So if you wanted to add some texture to the image, you can put like those words on the thing and you can increase the transparency or lower the transparency, whatever you want to do. You can change, there are a bunch of different options for overlays and new ones are being added all the time, I've noticed. So that's pretty cool. And you can also add filters. So these are your kind of traditional Instagram-y filters. And I've never personally used them. I've just usually tried to play with the brightness and other parts of the image instead of using filters, but you can, they're there if you want to. And if you want to remove the background of an image, so like let's say it doesn't really make sense for this image, but if you see down here, you have these like this couple embracing, but they're in front of this other background. You can remove the background of that image and then put that couple onto a different background. So if we wanted them standing in front of this creepy tree, we could do that too by importing that image and removing the background. So you can remove as many, or you have credits for how many backgrounds you can remove, but you can remove them if you want to. You can, I think part of the filters, you can add these kind of faded gradient type things where there's like brighter light on one side and not as bright on the other side. And if you don't like those effects, you can just click X and it'll take you out of it. And you can add a border if you want a border. Usually you don't for book covers. And you can also add custom gradients here. So if you wanted it to be like red on one side and white on the other side, then you can add a gradient that way. And that's pretty much it for images. Then you can add text. So if you want to add your author name, you can say like, you wouldn't add this name because this is my name. I'll come after you if you try to sell my books on Amazon and pirate my books. But you can change the font here. And I mean, we've already been through fonts. I'm not going to like talk your ear off about fonts. You don't need to see me make a million terrible designs, but let's say, I don't know, what do you think? The trees will hear us. I don't know, that's kind of a dumb title, but that's not scary at all. Oh, well, that's what we're working with. So here's our title and here's our author name, and we can make that look good. We can play with that as much as we want to. And that's pretty much all you need to do for the cover creator. You have a lot of options. Oh, what you can also do, I don't recommend doing this, but what BookBrush does allow you to do, first of all, you can upload any images that you want to. So if you have things that you want to upload to BookBrush, you can put them in. Here are some of the ones that I've uploaded in the past. And you also have all of these stickers that BookBrush makes available to you. So if you want to say, available on Amazon, but you wouldn't actually put this on your book cover. This is more for ads or things like that. You can put these wherever you want to, or created by BookBrush, whatever you wanted to do. If you wanted to put a 5-star sticker on there, you can. All of those stickers are really readily and easily available to you. You can also put these elements in, arrows and dividers, almost like chapter heading dividers. You can put QR codes, you can put speech bubbles, all sorts of different things that they have in here for you. But this is more for graphics and ads, not as much for book covers. So once you're done, you can save changes to your cover over here. This will just save it to your projects. And then you can download. So you can download a PNG, a JPEG, or a PDF of your cover. I don't know. I've only ever done PNG and JPEGs for covers. I think if you did a PDF, you need to do a PDF for print books, but for ebooks, a PNG or a JPEG should be fine. And then that will just save to your computer, and then you have a cover. So that's an overview of how it works. It's not really complicated. It's really pretty simple and easy to follow. As I said, I don't use this for my book covers, like for my series, but I've used it for graphics and marketing materials. Oh, actually, hold on. There's one really cool thing that you can do in BookBrush. Oh, well, no, I'm not going to talk about that because they allow you to make 3D like books with your cover on it. This doesn't make sense for the cover creator. This is more for ads and graphics, but they have all of these pre-made images of books, and you can upload your cover and it'll stick your cover onto the image. So it looks like your book cover is on that book. And so that's really cool to have those 3D models all readily available for your graphics. But yeah, BookBrush is great. The cover creator is super handy. If you have a better sense of design and what looks good, I'm sure you can create many more things that look better than what I just made for you, because that was not a very good book cover. But please let me know if you have any questions about BookBrush. I'd be really happy to answer them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a fantastic week. And as always, happy writing.